Hello, thank you for joining me for another YNAB or You Need a Budget video. I'm Rachel, the stay-at-home mom. Although I do have a bookkeeping job that I started, this video might sound like it's a little soft-spoken, another abbreviation, ASMR, because my son is sleeping next to me and it's very early in the morning. My husband gets up at 2 a.m. and I felt like I had enough sleep by then that I could go ahead and make this video while he snoozes in the bed next to me. We actually have a lot of money to work with. I decided, since this is a March check, we're just going to keep covering April, and we'll wait till April to figure out if we want to go ahead to the May 4 walls before covering absolutely everything in April. I also set a couple different targets in here. Some we changed based on my husband and I discussing them and coming up with more realistic timelines for us. Some of them have to do with our Amazon purchasing that we try to only do once a month. I'm going to actually wait until April 1st to make that purchase because my credit card's next quarterly 5% cashback category is Amazon. So I should be able to do April, May, June, and if I do our July one at the end of June, I can get 4 purchases in there. So we'll try to take advantage of that. So the first thing I want to talk about is the mistake I made last month. I went ahead into April and I had some money in this grocery holding as a negative. So when I came back to March, I actually had a good chunk of money that I could still have budgeted. I'm going to release that to the ready to assign. I kind of wanted to put it to this baby number 2 line to get us ahead, but I forgot that this total amount here, I have already transferred to the HSA, and that's kind of how I keep that organized. So next we're just going to go line by line and release money or cover overspending. So here is my husband's first paycheck. We can release that. This is the money I made from the library. And I think they are going to be offering one of the applicants the position this week. So next week might be my last time working that job, or I could just be done altogether since I'm not working this Saturday. This cash back here is kind of specific. $50 of it came back from the car that we junked. We got the registration money back, so I'm going to move that $50 to ready to assign. And then the $16.99 came from a recall on Chomp's beef sticks at Costco. So I am specifically going to move that to grocery holding, which is where I spent the money at. This gift received here is also kind of specific. $50 came from my grandparents for watching their house one last month. They are back from Hawaii, all safe and sound. This $100 came from our neighbor. My husband helped him do some things in his garage, which we did not expect payment for. But he decided he wanted to insist on giving us some money. So we just decided we're going to put that towards my son's savings, which we still have to figure out what we want to do with. We'll wait till we meet with our finance guy, but until then, we're just going to keep socking a little money to there every once in a while, and eventually we'll become more purposeful with it. And then the rest of the bonus money, we're still going to use just to cover my husband's project truck, so we might try to get the car maintenance budget back up to $1,000 here over the next couple months. First, we're going to cover overspending. I had poor planning, and with this new bookkeeping thing and scheduling, I did not pack enough food, and I bought some egg bites from a coffee shop. It was my highest protein, lowest carb option, and I couldn't go hungry, especially since I'm nursing. It takes a lot out of me. Next is groceries. We went over by $188. Grocery holding, so I bought all the groceries for the first week of next month already, and so I am just going to subtract this amount off the $800 for next month. should move that back up to ready to assign. And then we can come back here and we can now cover that overspending with the money I just moved to ready to assign. That's how I like to handle spending grocery money this last week that would go into next month. Otherwise, if you have pending transactions on the cards, it's hard to reconcile. So I just do that grocery holding and it makes a lot more sense in my mind and it makes everything look a lot cleaner. So gas, I realized I didn't fund it up to the full $550 that I had been doing. I had only put $522.96 in there. But also gas prices went up and we also did a lot of extra driving. And by we, I should say I did extra driving. I didn't think it was enough to add up to being that much extra since we're usually under on gas. But we've just decided we're going to up our gas budget back to $600 because we'd rather have extra money at the end of the month than have this kind of overspending. Cleaning and consumables, I bought Clorox wipes at Costco. I've been wanting to buy them for a while and I didn't want to order them on Amazon. So this was actually a pretty good deal. They were $3 off or something. And with having a baby and eventually potty training and all kinds of stuff, it's nice to just have something heavy duty that'll get the job done. So my mom did end up paying for my grandma's lunch the last time we went. I should say supper, it was the evening. But I did end up spending money to get some groceries for my grandparents before they got back from Hawaii. I just got them a few staple items just to get them by, and they said that they did use the coffee stuff right away, so that made me feel pretty good. And they were paying me every month, and it was very unnecessary for them to do that, so we definitely have the money to cover me getting them a few groceries. I love to use this word. I was absolutely flabbergasted when I saw the electric bill this month. Last month it was $422, and this month it was only $182.86. I almost cried. I am elated. And I just realized I have not changed that goal yet for April. We're just going to knock it down to maybe $300. I don't want to go all the way down to $200 just in case something happens. That's another pot. I would rather have a little money in at the end of the month and we can move it later. But as for right now, here's a good chunk of money we can put back up to ready to assign. And then moving down here to car maintenance. This was the tool my husband had to get specifically for working on his project truck that he inherited. It looks like we are good for the rest of March. I think it's safe for us to move on to April. We are going into April with just over $2,000. So we're going to start with our blow money and just in case. And I already know just in case we're going to get a new fan for the bedroom just for some white noise. We used to have one all the time and the ceiling fan just doesn't cut it. And the ceiling fan actually makes me cough at night, so the last one lasted over 10 to 15 years, so that should be good. Next, we're going to bulk up this gas money. I'm going to add the $50 to get it to an even $600. I'm going to try to cut down on some of my driving and keep being more intentional with it. Eating out and tip. I don't think we're going to really eat out. Last month we did use some of it, but we're just going to put it there. Our Amazon order, we need more vitamin D. And we need some dishwasher rinse. And then this is for some hand cream that I saw lasted us a whole year because we don't use it much in the summer. But it lasted a whole year, so I think $32 is worth it. And then I'm just doing $20 because I think I'm going to keep going with my mom and she'll keep buying my grandma's meals. But I'll put $20 there in case I want to contribute. Maybe I'll buy her teas or something. So that's just over $100 there. Well, I do see I put electric down to $325, but we're just going to go ahead and change that to $300 because I can't imagine it being over $300, which means we can move 25 of this back to ready to assign. Subscriptions, we haven't covered at all, but they're green now. And we will go ahead and do our car things. This is that car maintenance line that I would eventually like to get back to having $1,000 in there. But we're not going to worry about that quite right now because we really want to put more money to baby number 2. And as you can see, there's already some money in here. And that is just from when I was budgeting March's paychecks into April and I had a little money left at the end. This is where I was putting it. So we only need just under $200 this month to keep us on track. And I should clarify what this money's for. So basically, with my midwife and having a home birth, she charges $6,000. Just a flat $6,000 that covers all the appointments leading up, that covers the actual birth, and it covers a few postpartum appointments. From having the last baby, I also know that we need to pay out of pocket about $150 for an ultrasound and blood testing, which I can run under my husband's insurance, and that is only about $25 each time. And there might be a few things like birth certificate and such, so I just figure around $7,000. We're putting it in February for now, and I can keep pushing this out if I don't get pregnant, but I just like knowing that we're on track for the earliest that I would be having a baby. I was actually able to use a good chunk on some pumping adapter supplies, so that was handy too. It's kind of nice, I just forget this money's here. Investments are all taken care of. Now we're going to take care of the long-term funds, and we're going to take off meat because our locker date is in April, and we'll worry about reconfiguring that in May. So we have plenty of money to cover all of these underfunded items. It's really great to already have money set aside for Christmas. This giving is something that happens around Christmas with our family. My husband is going to Boundary Waters, so that's what this vacation amount is currently. He's going in July, and once that's done, we'll figure out what I need for going to Texas for Thanksgiving. We have quite a bit of family down there, and I'm going with my mom and sister, so I figure they'll probably take care of hotels, and I thought I would rent us a car. Cat care is just a little buffer that I like to have going. I'll start giving them Frontline again. I don't know if that's being a good cat parent or not. It might be overkill, actually. Our cats don't go outside, but I figured just in case one of them gets out, or if we bring something in on our shoes, or if they eat a bug, they've been covered with Frontline. Water filters we won't need until August. We get those every 6 months. New phones, we're gearing up to make a big switch in July. So I put in the amount that my husband wants for his new phone that will transfer over. Mine, I should be able to get unlocked and transfer over. And then we're going to go with Mint Mobile. Clothes, I actually don't know what's going on with clothes. I'm not sure what this $160 is for. I don't think we really need anything as far as clothes. My husband was talking about getting another pair of shoes out of his bonus money, and he did also want to get some more pants. And honestly, I could use a couple more pants. I'd like to go to Plato's Closet for some leggings because I saw they had a really great selection, and I somehow have no leggings between growing out of my last pregnancy and ones I had from before my pregnancy literally falling apart. So I'm just going to leave this $160 here. That might be kind of nice to actually get some new clothes. And I'm slowly bulking up this emergency fund because I want the total amount here to be $15,000. And I made it that I just want it by, it looks like December. So It's only $35 and makes me feel good to have something going there. So this is everything that we have left that we haven't funded that I'd like to put some money to. We'll do our $50 to home maintenance. The next thing coming up is going to be this lawn and garden, which I decided to split over April and May. I would like to start a garden, and we have some of the materials already. We're repurposing some box gardens from my parents. And then I am going to get some seed starts going. I have no idea what I'm doing. Please don't come to me for garden advice, but I think I'm going to just try to start some seeds because it sounds fun. And I know all about hardening and everything, so I'm aware that I'll have to put some thought into it, but it'll be fun. I would also like to put mulch around the garden beds that came with the house that are already very nice, and I just want to keep them nice. And then I would like to plant a couple trees. We talk about it every year, and we've lived here for almost, we've been here since 2021. And then probably going into May, there's one side of the house that we do need to redo the garden beds that were right up against the house. So we're going to make that look a lot nicer. We're not going to plant anything, but we figured we'd just put some edging and mulch down. So we're going to do that $250 here. If for some reason I spend over that $250 this month, I will just cut it down next month. When I get this far with the money, I kind of get nervous that I'm forgetting something, but you just watched me go through everything, so I don't know why I feel that way. So we have just over $200 left here. The water heater isn't urgent, it's just something that I know is going to need replaced soon. It's very old, but we're not really having any problems with it right now. And if something comes up and we really have to get a new water heater, we will, and we'll just move the money around. It won't be nearly as expensive as it was to get another vehicle, so I'm not worried about that, and we're going to put the money to this renovations and building line. This is the shed I talked about us building so that we could eventually get gym equipment, and my husband really wanted to do it this spring. With buying that new to us pickup, the money just really wasn't there. The very latest I would need this shed would be around April of 2026. That gives us enough time to actually come up with a plan for it and get any permits that we might need. And most importantly, it gives us more time to save up for it. So we are going to put that money there. Now we have a measly $7 left. And you've probably figured out by now what's most important to me and at the forefront of my mind. I'm going to put this to baby number 2. And April is completely, absolutely, fully funded and covered. And I'm just going to scroll through here and make sure that I have everything, because I really feel like I'm forgetting something, because I just can't believe how far that money stretched. With the exception of this car maintenance line that we will slowly build back up. But I don't see anything that I'm forgetting. And I will snooze this water heater line and hopefully figure out the key control. I think I was using S for snooze, but it's Z for sleep, like the Z's. Thank you again for joining me for this hopefully calm, cool, and collected YNAB video. Maybe next one I will be a little more vibrant. And I will film it not at 3 a.m. Have a great rest of your month and enjoy these first days of spring, especially if you live in the Midwest.